Morning all, and welcome to the latest episode of the STYRKA Podcast. Today we'll turn our fresh new article from Strengths by Fitness, where we talk about food tracking benefits, the benefits of tracking food, and the occasional nutritional OCD pitfalls. In a recent article, Protein at All, I talked about the fact that hardly anyone should waste their time and energy trying to track their actual nutritional intake. And saying stuff like this can ruffle some feathers and stir the ponds of the cognitive zen minds out there. So I thought that I would sit down and do a proper follow-up to that article and podcast and elaborate a little bit upon what exactly I mean with that. Tracking foods in a food journal, an app, or whatever can be an amazing reality check that helps to write your trajectory. This is basic stuff and very beneficial. You see, if you've never ever done that, if you've never taken an honest view over what you eat and how much you eat, in not just one meal, but during the course of an entire day and week, well, then it's about time that you do so. Also make sure to include all the things you drink. This is an incredibly useful tool, not in the way most people might think, because food tracking, it's not about jotting down every single nutrient you eat and adding it all together per meal, day and week, all year round. You can do that, it's good. If you love doing that, if that makes you happy, if that keeps you on track, do it. It's okay to obsess about every food label, snap photos of every meal, and track every macro and micronutrient in whatever food app you have. Embrace it if that's what you like. You can 100% try to track every calorie and nutrient and report back to your coach, your personal trainer, or just obsess about it for your own sake. If it makes you feel good, it's all perfectly fine if that makes your world spin. Even more so, if you enjoy doing it, that's wonderful. And if it provides the structure and order that you need and enjoy to keep yourself on track with your healthy fit lifestyle, just keep at it and be happy. Here's the but. Nutritional labels are never accurate. They show you a general trajectory. They do not show you the precise nutritional reality of the foods that you are consuming. So the issue with the obsessive compulsive disorder style food tracking approach is that tracking nutrients has never been an exact science and it never will be. There are no food labels in the history of humankind that have managed to correctly specify exactly how much protein, fats, carbs, fibers, omega-3, total energy on any micronutrients you will end up eating when you buy that food item, when you buy that apple, when you buy that meal, oats, chicken, whatever, makes no difference. This means that there isn't a single app available that will manage to properly keep track of your nutritional intake. There's no AI or whatever solution that will tell you the actual nutrients in any one meal or food item. And there are no databases out there that's going to keep you exactly on track. All this is perfectly fine. It's not the end of the world. Yes, plenty of apps and coaches claim incorrectly that they provide exact information, but that's never the case. It's always and only a rough estimation. A rough estimation that will be a bit off with every meal, individual ingredient and food item. And once again, this is all good. Doesn't have to blow your mind, because despite this inaccuracy, just knowing the vague nutritional landscape of the food items you eat, the stuff you include in your life, it's more than enough to tell you what foods are healthy, which foods are high protein, nutritional complete, low fat or high fat, moderate carbs, high carbs, low carbs, whatever stuff is filled with added sugar or getting all of its carbohydrates from high quality fibers and carbohydrates. We get all that information from our food labels, from our nutritional apps, and that's the information that matters. Because this is all you need to make informed choices that will push the trajectories of your health, body composition, endurance, cardiovascular health, fat mass, strength, and muscle mass in the right direction. You can, of course, as I said, still track all your nutrients if that somehow provides meaning and progress for you. No, it's never going to be exact. The number you're looking at, if your app tells you that you're eating 180 grams protein, you might be eating 210 grams or 155 grams protein. And sometimes it's going to be drastically outside the actual ballpark. You might think you're eating 2,500 calories, but you're north of 3,000. That data is okay, and it's useful enough because it provides a rough approximation of how nutritionally sound you're eating, and that's what matters. This vague sense of direction do let you and me and everybody else shape a better food trajectory, even though it's not an exact and correct number. This simple reality, however, is why I personally never ever track my own nutrients, never have and never will. I do check nutrition labels whenever I make or consider making a new food choice. And that quick look tells me if it's going to be a nutritionally healthy and good enough quality food that I will want to include in my healthy life, or if it's just not up to par, no matter what the fancy advertisements are saying, or that nutrition label tells me if I will discard this food item and kick it to the curb before I even try it. Not because the information is precise, it never is, but because it tells me the trajectory of the nutrients in the meal, in the food item. It tells me if it's high in fat content or if it's low fat. Is it high protein, or is its energy somehow delivering abysmal amounts of protein? Or does it provide good quality carbs and fiber? Is the fat content good essential fats or worthless fats? Is there too much salt and low quality carbs and added sugar that's been merged together to make it an utterly hedonistic piece of unhealthy food crack? Or is it high quality food that's going to push my high protein, high satiety, nutritionally complete food plan? Food apps and labels tells us these things. That they tell us if there's omega-3 and B12 in the foods or not. As such, I can see right away if something has earned a place in my life and food plan. I can tell right away if it will add that meaningful high protein, high satiety and nutritional completeness to my food life or not. If it doesn't, it's a no-go for me, and it should be for you too. Of course, you might be different, because every person has their own unique food blend. But, as we discussed previously, make high protein the main food pillar. It just makes life, health, fitness outcomes, body composition, aging even, everything improves. So build around high protein and keep your food fiber intake as high as you enjoy it. Add good, whole, quality foods to that high protein, high fiber base until you cover all the nutrients you need. You don't need to know the exact amount you eat, and it's impossible to know, but cover all the nutrients and you're good to go. Doesn't matter that you're not keeping an exact eye on the total nutrients you consume on a daily basis for the rest of your life. And that trajectory, that's the benefit of having food labels or apps that provide nutritional information, because now you have a sense for the fact-based direction of your nutritional trajectory. So ease up on trying to keep track on how many carbs you've been eating, or protein, or fiber, or whatever. Just embrace that it's enough to know if it's good, high-quality food with good essential fats, high protein content, high fiber content, good quality carbs and micronutrients. Or if it's just another piece of junk food with low quality carbs, bad fats, too little protein, micronutrients and fiber to butter with. If food has too much energy and there's no satiety and any of the big nutritional pillars you need, disregarded. So the helpful difference between food tracking and what I jokingly call nutrition OCD is this. As a coach and healthy fit living diehard enthusiast of many decades, I just see no need to even bother trying to keep track of the exact macro and micronutrients, not for myself or clients. Of course, if a person believes they need it and they don't want to see reason, then we do that. But as a general rule of thumb, there's an immense benefit from knowing how healthy the foods you eat are. For me, my wife, and our clients. But the specific numbers is pointless because you can't even track it. Nutrition is essential for a progression in health, fitness, and body composition. So what matters is that we need to make good quality food choices. And in order to do so, we need to be aware of what we actually eat. The food items we eat, the individual nutritional makeup, and the volume of what we actually eat and drink. As far as the food and nutritional data we need to do those informed choices, we get all that from keeping things easy and simple. That data will be just as good, accurate, and useful as the biggest diehard nutritional OCD tracker ever. And yes, as I've said many times over the years, protein is the number one nutrient. That's your number one food pillar. Whole plant-based foods with good quality fiber should be your second nutritional pillar. So just make protein the number one food pillar in your life. But other than choosing high protein food items and constructing high protein meals as your foundation, there's no real life benefit or accurate information from trying to track the exact nutritional content of your meals. It's an impossibility due to the variability in nutritional content even in whole foods, and there's no way to correctly measure the exact nutritional content of any food that we eat. Yes, that's true, even for apples that you pick straight from the tree. The exact nutritional content varies. You have the same vitamins, the same minerals, there's the same micro and macro nutrients, but the exact number of each nutrient that apples contain will vary. So this is my proposal. Track the foods you eat over a week. Track the volume of the foods you eat and what you drink. Take a look at the approximate nutrients of those foods. Assess and adapt. The goal with this exercise is to pile up your daily and weekly foods, the food items you eat, and how much. This way you will be able to tell roughly how much all year round you consume of not just the foods you eat on average, but the nutrients. You will get a good trajectory of how much high protein foods you eat, and you assess and adapt so you get as much high protein foods as possible every day, week, and all year round. And by keeping a food journal for a week, you will know if that protein is accompanied by low fat or high fats. Is it moderate, low, or high carb foods? Then you assess and adapt according to your food preference. Let's talk about carbs a little bit, because real quality carbs, it's perfectly fine. And they actually benefit the outcome of many exercise routines, such as lifting weights and highly intense martial arts, more than low carb diets do. Junk carbs aren't okay. So there's no point in getting entrenched in diatribes. You can do high fat, you can do low fat, doesn't matter. You go with what you enjoy. But real quality carbs from whole plant-based foods benefits everyone. So this healthy fact-based food approach has nothing to do with food and diatribes. It's the complete opposite, because it's about the actual reality of our food life. Do the high protein approach. And then if you want to do intermittent fasting or keto, if you want to be vegan or carnivore, that's your choice. Just make protein the number one food pillar and high quality carbs and fiber from whole plant-based foods the number two food pillar. Speaking of protein, this is the healthy high protein intake range you should aim for. Omnivores should aim for a protein intake range of 1.6 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilo of body weight if you're already fit. Obese and very overweight individuals should keep the same range but base it around their target weight. For plant-based people, the range becomes 1.8 as the minimum, up to 2.0, 2.2 roughly. This is simply due to how plant-based foods need a higher total protein intake to reach the same amino acid saturation, the same strength and lean muscle mass progression, due to our bodies having slightly lower protein absorption from plant-based foods, and due to the fact that there are some amino acids in plant-based foods that's a bit lower. Whenever you hear someone say that animal protein is superior, it's not superior. It's just that you get away with eating less of it and still get all the amino acids you need. There's no hard-coded upper stop, but almost no human when it comes to protein consumption. But almost no humans need to consume more than roughly 2.0 grams per kilo body weight and day. It's absolutely safe to eat as much as 3.0 grams of protein, but the more protein you eat, the less room you get for other needed nutrients. So, the 1.6 to roughly 2.0 range works incredibly well for all intents and purposes on basically every human being on the planet. If you need more thoughts and facts on protein, tune in to the Protein at All article and podcasts. And there you'll also find a ton of cited studies on health outcomes and fitness progression due to high protein consumption. Let's recap. Your diet tribe is not a factor. I personally prefer whole plant-based foods to go together with my high protein consumption. As such, my high quality carb and fiber intake is way higher than a keto person or your carnivore average omnivore person. But your food tribe and preference really doesn't matter. It's your choice. There's nothing that's better or worse if you enjoy keto or plant-based foods, intermittent fasting, or eating from morning to evening. We can all find good things that are better one way and things that are worse when we eat it one way. But nothing about this article changes. Track your food, ease up on keeping tabs on the exact nutritional amount. No matter your preferred food plan, it can be made to be nutritionally complete and as such, nothing but health and fitness friendly. Yes, we can find better health outcomes the more plant-based protein we eat, but we have discussed these things previously. So let's move on. Once you know how much you eat and what you're eating, you can easily go on to adjust your weekly food habits. Nudge out the food items that contain low quality carbs. Get rid of the added sugar. Get rid of the stuff that contains too many non-essential fats and just plain too much energy, fats and salts combined. Because these foods provide the least amount of protein, satiety and micronutrients, and then usually provide the most energy too. A general adjustment like this, it will provide tremendous health and body composition benefits for anyone, no matter current body composition, fitness level and metabolic health status. As you nudge the above bad foods out of the picture, together with getting rid of alcohol and sugary beverage out the door, bring in and embrace the quality foods that you enjoy. Foods that are rich in protein, whole plant-based fibers and nutrients. And yes, even a keto, diehard person, even a carnivore person, the more whole plant-based foods you include together with your animal protein foods, the better off you will be. You will enjoy better satiety, better micronutrients, less hunger, a leaner body and better health metrics. And this is great because it makes choosing healthy foods, coming up with a fact-based nutritional trajectory that works for you for the rest of your life easy as pie. Or, as I put it in my article, obsessing about one's exact nutritional intake might feel good, But the reality is that it's a fruitless endeavor and borderline OCD. It's okay, but the reality of what I said is why I can happily state that obsessing about one's exact nutritional intake is a fruitless endeavor and borderline OCD in the fact-based light that is pointless and inaccurate to do. I can at the same time state that you should 100% track your food take if you never have. Once done, assess and adapt. Be honest with yourself. Don't fake it. Don't make it better than ever just because you're tracking it. Track your food honestly. And then, when you assess that, breathe out and relax, knowing that you're now ready to eat healthier and nutritionally complete for all of life, while you slay every single body composition and fitness goal you have, all while your health metrics will continue to improve. So do this food journal for a few days to a week, because it will allow you to take control and make some serious adjustments to your trajectory in health, well-being, fitness, fat mass, and body composition. Following this, you just take a look at whatever new foods you consider to bring into your life. You can repeat this procedure as often as you feel the need to do so. Perhaps you have shed a ton of body fat, or you have gained a ton of muscle mass and strength. If so, you can take a new look at your food diary. And it's just as easy, even more easy than last time, because all you will do is assess and adapt your current food intake, compare that to your progression in body mass and fitness progression. That's all you need to keep yourself going in the right direction for the rest of your life. Recap. Repeat that as often as you need to, because your ongoing habits need to fit only one person, and that's you. If you think about it, this easy to do food approach is a huge relief, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, you don't have to spend all the time and energy on something that will never provide any meaningful and accurate data. And this simple act of choosing high protein foods with plenty of fibers from whole plant-based foods to complement whatever protein sources you prefer will provide you with the best possible trajectories in health, fitness, recovery, aging, and body composition. Well, that's all for today. Let them know what your train of thought landed in once you have given it a proper consideration. And before I let you go, a quick reminder. It's okay to count calories. It's okay to track every macro and micronutrients if that is what keeps you on your fitness and health journey. It's not needed, it's not accurate, but it's okay. And if it works for you, if it keeps you happy, that's wonderful. Because we're all unique in what we need to feel in control as we maintain our healthy fit journey across the entire health span. Thank you. Have a great day.